TV presenter and entertainment reporter Ellen Cochran.
What struck me about what I've read about it, she's only got fame because she's married to Prince Harry.
I would disagree that she's only got fame because she's married to Prince Harry.
Oh, come on. I'd never heard of her till she started dating Prince Harry. I'd never heard of Suits either.
But that's you. I was a massive Suits fan, and so were millions of other people around the world. Yes, they were, yeah. Believe it or not, we still watch Suits on repeat now. It's a very good show, actually. Maybe you should tune in. It's very good. But she definitely didn't become famous because of Prince Harry. She was famous in her own right. She was also a UN ambassador for women's rights around the world. So she was a philanthropist before she met him. She was actually the perfect princess, and actually the royal family fumbled a small bit there by not keeping her in the royal fold, because she would have done incredible things with them. But I'm sure she has a lot more freedom now on the outside.
Ellen, can I just say that is a little bit fake, isn't it? It's not real. It's not even her own kitchen. Yeah. So it follows on from all the things she has done in the past, where maybe what we're seeing and what she's saying isn't necessarily reality.
Well, this is actually standard for cooking shows. Nobody cooks in their own kitchen. It's a set. So if she was to cook in her own kitchen, she'd have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old running around her feet. It would be chaos. Harry'd be coming in to make his breakfast in the morning. So I don't think anybody expected her to actually be cooking and making a Netflix series in her own kitchen. That is just complete industry standard to do it that way. It's not fake at all. I can understand why the British press see it as inauthentic, because it is very Americanized television. So it's not something that we're used to seeing. It's curated, but it's made to be like that. The production is like that. If you've watched any sort of Martha Stewart cooking shows, they are very curated. That's just the way they are. But nobody's forcing anybody to watch the series. She's put it out there for people who like her, fans. And if you go by the last series, it's got 5.4 million viewers in its first week. It was the top of 5 Netflix show for half of 2025. So regardless what the British press think of Meghan and think of her shows, the viewing figures do not lie.
Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome to Royal Telly. I'm Chloe, your guide to the latest news and insights in the world of the Sussexes. Today, we're spotlighting a beacon of reason amidst the media chaos. TV presenter and entertainment reporter Ellen Cochran. During a panel discussion, Ellen stood up to a pundit who tried to belittle Meghan Sussex's achievements. The pundit insisted that Meghan's fame was solely due to her marriage to Prince Harry. Ellen, however, was quick to point out that Meghan was a successful actress and a UN women's advocate long before she met Harry. She also reminded everyone that Meghan was a philanthropist and that her global work was a strength, not a weakness. Ellen's astute comments were a refreshing dose of unbiased factual reporting, something that the British press often lacks. The conversation didn't end there. The pundit tried to criticize Meghan's Netflix show, With Love Meghan, calling it fake because it wasn't shot in her own kitchen. This is where Ellen's expertise shone through once more. She calmly explained that it's standard for cooking shows to be filmed on a set. It's not about faking a reality, but about creating an environment that's conducive to filming. Imagine this scenario. Meghan trying to film in her own home. You'd have her children, Archie and Lilibet, running around, causing adorable yet filming disruptive chaos. Then you'd have Prince Harry popping in and out of the kitchen to make his breakfast or fix a snack. It would be real, yes, but it would also be chaotic. It wouldn't allow Meghan to focus on the heart of the show, sharing her love of food and cooking. But of course, the British press ignored this industry standard. Instead, they chose to twist it into a negative, claiming that Meghan was somehow being dishonest. Their criticism, however, is not based on industry standards, but on a cynical desire to find anything to spin into a negative story. They disregard that filming on a set is the norm and not an exception in the industry. Ellen's reality check was a much-needed response to the pundit's baseless criticism. She brought the discussion back to what it should be, an evaluation of the show based on its content and merit, not on unfounded assumptions and unfair expectations. She reminded everyone that the value of Meghan's show is not in its location, but in its message, its intention, and most importantly, in its reception by the audience. And speaking of the audience, Ellen made another crucial point. Regardless what the British press think of Meghan and think of her shows, the viewing figures do not lie. This is the ultimate truth, the one that the critics can't ignore no matter how hard they try. With Love, Meghan was a massive success, garnering millions of viewers in its first week. It became one of Netflix's top shows for the first half of 2025, according to Netflix's own data. Ellen's reality check was a much-needed response to the pundits' baseless criticism. The most important point that Ellen made was about the success of the show. Regardless what the British press think of Meghan and think of her shows, the viewing figures do not lie. And she couldn't be more right. Despite all the criticism, all the unwarranted negativity, with Love, Meghan has proven to be an unequivocal success. We're not just talking about a modest viewership here. We're talking about a show that has struck a chord with millions of viewers worldwide. Within its first week alone with Love, Meghan attracted millions of eager viewers, catapulting it to the top charts of Netflix's most-watched shows for the first half of 2025. That's not just a stroke of luck. That's a testament to the show's appeal, its relevance, and most importantly, Meghan's undeniable talent as a host. But let's not forget the critics. They've had their say, haven't they? They've called the show fake, they've tried to undermine Meghan's credibility, and they've attempted to belittle the show's success. But here's the thing about success, it speaks for itself. The critics' opinions, as harsh as they may be, simply don't matter when a show is a commercial hit. And that's exactly what With Love, Meghan is. It's not just a show, it's a phenomenon. It's a show that has managed to captivate audiences with its warmth, its authenticity, and its charm. And the critics? Well, they can spend their time giggling and complaining. They can continue to deny the show's success, to belittle Meghan's achievements. But they can't change the facts. They can't change the viewing figures. They can't change the undeniable truth that, with Love, Meghan is a hit. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Despite all the criticism, despite all the attempts to undermine its success, With Love, Meghan has emerged victorious. It's a show that has proven its worth, a show that has captured the hearts of millions of viewers worldwide. The British press can spend their time giggling and complaining, but they can't change the fact that people are watching the show. So let them giggle, let them complain. Because at the end of the day, it's the viewers who have the final say. And they've spoken loud and clear. They love the show, they're watching it, and they're loving it. This sentiment was also echoed in a thoughtful piece by Raven Smith in Vogue. Smith, a celebrated cultural commentator, brings a unique lens to the conversation surrounding Meghan's show With Love, Meghan. In his article, he emphasizes that the show is easy watching, not hate watching. He highlights how the series is a breezy, enjoyable journey into Meghan's world of culinary delights and personal stories. It's not a platform for royal gossip or a pit for settling scores. It is, in essence, a simple cooking show that delivers exactly what it promises. An authentic, warm, and inviting atmosphere where viewers can learn some new recipes and maybe a little bit about Meghan herself. Smith astutely points out that there's no royal gossip, no sense of vengeance in the show. With Love, Meghan is a far cry from the drama and tension that the British press seems so intent on injecting into everything Meghan does. The show is devoid of any spite or bitterness. It is simply Meghan, sharing her love for food and community, away from the royal hullabaloo. And yet, Smith writes, the show has become a lightning rod for criticism, largely from those who seem determined to find fault with Meghan, regardless of what she does. They've chosen to view a harmless cooking show through a lens of suspicion and negativity, but Smith refuses to buy into this narrative. He insists that the show, like Meghan herself, is just not worth the negativity. He reminds us all to take a step back and look at the show for what it truly is. A cooking show. Not a royal expose, not a tell-all, not a platform for Meghan to air her grievances. It's about food, hospitality, and community. It's about Meghan the woman, not Meghan the Duchess, and it deserves to be seen as such. Smith's piece is a reminder that the show, like Meghan herself, is not worth the negativity. It's a call to the public, and more importantly, the press, to let go of their prejudices and enjoy the show for what it is, a delightful foray into the world of cooking, delivered with love by Meghan. So, what does all of this tell us about Meghan Sussex and the British press? Well, it paints a clear picture of a strong, accomplished woman navigating a world of relentless criticism. Meghan Sussex, a successful actress, UN women's advocate, and philanthropist, has faced an ongoing battle against a narrative that seeks to diminish her accomplishments and undermine her character. The British press's relentless critique of Meghan, from her acting career to her marriage to Prince Harry, and even her cooking show on Netflix, With Love, Meghan, is a testament to their inability to recognize her for who she truly is. They've chosen to ignore her pre-royal life, her successful TV show Suits, and her philanthropic efforts in favor of painting her as a woman who only achieved fame through marriage. TV presenter Ellen Coughlin's defense of Meghan during a panel discussion is a beacon of truth in a sea of bias. She challenged the notion that Meghan only gained fame through her marriage and highlighted her pre-royal accomplishments. Moreover, she rightfully pointed out that Meghan's show With Love, Meghan was unfairly criticized for not being filmed in her own kitchen, a standard practice in the industry. The success of With Love, Meghan, despite the criticism, is a testament to Meghan's talent and dedication. The show garnered millions of viewers in its first week alone and was one of Netflix's top shows in the first half of 2025. This success proves that the public's opinion vastly differs from that of the British press. Even Vogue's Raven Smith acknowledged that the show is simply not worth the negativity it receives. The show is easy watching, devoid of royal gossip or vengeance, and Smith suggests that it's not worth getting worked up about. This perspective is a breath of fresh air in a media landscape that often seems hell-bent on tearing Meghan down. In conclusion, Meghan Sussex is an accomplished woman who has faced undue criticism from the British press. Despite this, she continues to find success in her endeavors, proving that the narratives spun by the press do not define her. She's a successful actress, a dedicated philanthropist, and now a successful show host. Her story serves as an inspiration to many, showing us that it's possible to rise above negativity and carve out our own path. Thank you for joining us today on Royal Telly. I'm Chloe, and it's been a pleasure to share this story with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the world of the Sussexes. Until next time, take care.